Alright, hi everybody, and welcome back once again to John's Rockin' Vinyl 77. This time around I have quite a few more CDs to show you guys. I was talking about in the last video that I had quite a few, so thought I'd go ahead and show what I got, and I even came up with a couple more things, so got about 20 CDs here. So let's get started. And some double CDs. I got box sets that I'm going to go ahead and show you guys real quick. So first off the bat, we got Sensational Alex Harvey Band, 5 classic album set, released by Universal Music, from Europe, I believe. These are only released in Europe, I want to say. Yeah, and it just has all the classic albums framed. You get Next, The Impossible Dream, and Tomorrow Belongs to Me, and the live album, which all exceptional records, pretty much. Probably the weakest one to me is Tomorrow Belongs to Me, but a lot of fans really like it, but I particularly like the first 3 and the live album, but you can't really go wrong with any of these releases, in my opinion. Very good band. Like, they didn't make a lot of music, but what they have is really good. So, definitely highly recommend anything, just about anything. And they were just like a really good, I would call art rocky kind of band with definitely a theatrical, very theatrical band. Definitely very unique for the time period. I mean, I never hear anybody, when I hear about people talking about art rock, and particularly from that era, you usually hear, David Bowie, and T-Rex, stuff like that, and Roxy Music, kind of the more progressive end of the arty rock stuff, but nobody really talks about Sensational Alex Harvey Band that much. But definitely a band that's right up there, and their first couple albums are very hard rock too, so there's that hard rock element mixed with the artsy rock and the more theatrical rock stuff. So definitely highly recommend this band to anybody. If you haven't heard them, you should definitely get familiar with particularly the first 3 albums. Really good stuff. Can't really go wrong with anything on there. So then, next I got a box set I've been kind of looking for. Foreigner, the Complete Atlantic Studio albums, 1977 to 1991. Now, this is just a fantastic box set. Included are a lot of bonus tracks, live tracks, pretty much all the bonus material that were on the individual CD reissues from the 2008, I think, is when they came out. Having all the demo takes, all the live tracks and everything. But yeah, definitely really neat to grab this. And I would say that this packaging's a lot better than the Alex Harvey, but this is definitely retails for a lot more than the Alex Harvey. So this is about a $30 retail on these as an import. I got a great deal on them, so not complaining. I got I think I got these for $12 with shipping. I got them from a U.S. seller, so very happy with that. So we got Foreigner debut, of course, in the mini LP form. Then it's got, of course, the label. It's not an exact replication of the original, but still nice. But I believe Double Vision it does have the gray. Yeah, it does have the gray. So that's really cool, like the original LP. Alright, and then Head Games, of course. Foreigner 4, classic album. Agent Provocateur. And then their very underrated Inside Information album with a gatefold. Then Unusual Heat, which was the last one on Atlantic, and I believe that after that, I guess they were kicked from Atlantic Records, or they just decided to leave. And then when Lou Gramm came back in the band, they went on Elektra Records. So that's why their last album's not included on here, because different company, right? So, yep, glad to have it. And then I've got Rush debut. And this, in my opinion, is much better sounding than the later remasters. Then I have the, early 2005, 2006, something like that, remaster of these. And I just think these original masters, particularly of the earlier, particularly this album, in my opinion, just doesn't sound good to me. It's just like all the, I don't know if it's the way it was mixed or what, but just like the sound, like the mixing just doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound as impactful, doesn't have the bass, the weight. This just has much more strength, like the sound has more strength, so I think it sounds better. So yeah, glad to have that, and I found that locally for very cheap, I think $1 or $2. We got Bad Company, another local find. Straight Shooter, you got this at the thrift store for, I believe, $1.50. And this is a nice, really nice album. I mean, I've been getting into Bad, Feel Like Making Love, of course, Shooting Star. Deal with the Preacher is probably my favorite on here. Of course, just a band I've been getting into a lot recently. So a great album that I've been getting used to a little bit. Alright, and then we got kind of a different turn. Got a little bit of Kate Bush, If You Could See Me Fly. This is like a kind of a demos tape, early, a lot of early stuff on here. So you got some stuff that would end up on later albums, and then a lot of stuff that never really ended up on any album, which is actually pretty solid stuff overall, I would say. A lot of the writing is really good, so I believe they call these the Phoenix demo tapes. These are the tapes that were broadcast on a Phoenix radio station in the early 80s, I believe, 82, 83, something like that. But yeah, just a lot of good stuff on here, actually, so yeah, I recommend checking the CD out. It's pretty good. I believe all of those are on YouTube, so you can check out the demos. And then we got, of course, this classic Led Zeppelin 2. Of course, a whole lot of love and Heartbreaker, Thank You, Lemon Song, all that kind of stuff. Great classic tracks. But this is actually a Japanese-made, kind of a rare version with a totally different mix from any of the like the late 80s reissue, like the late 80s CD issues of the Led Zeppelin 2, and then totally different than the 1991 version, and then also, of course, different, but probably only slightly different from the newest version. But these are pretty much some of the better CD versions of these songs, so really good. Triumph, Just a Game. And this is another local find, found at a thrift store. I've really been getting into Triumph recently. Of course, Moving On, Late on the Line, Young Enough to Cry, Just a Game, and then Hold On, of course, is the big single on there. And then we got Diamond Rio, Dirty Diamonds. I believe these guys are from Pennsylvania, New Brighton, PA, yeah, I believe so. So yeah,
This is a German, I believe, label that came out with this a few years ago. It was 2008. So when that came out, then I got, this is a pretty much brand new release from 2020 by the band Hydra. This is three albums on 2 CDs made by BGO. Came out earlier this year, and just has their first 3 albums. Really good packaging. Has a real thick booklet with a lot of info about the band and everything. And Hydra was just a kind of a hard rock, southern rock, boogie rock, blues rock, pretty much anything kind of band from the mid 70s, late 70s, mid 70s, late 70s. And I particularly recommend their first album. They are a local Atlanta band. That's kind of how I got into them, just from, knowing about a lot of the bands from the area. So really good music. Really dig this, and a great packaging, and I definitely recommend anything BGO comes out with, especially their more recent packaging. Really good, high quality, and the audio is really good on, definitely remastered well. So they did a good job on those. So then I got kind of a different one. We got April Wine, Electric Jewels. This is one of the earlier albums, I believe 73, right? Yeah, 73. So this is their 3rd album, I believe. So 1973. Oops, messed that up. Yep. And the CD, printed on Aquarius, I believe, is the label it's on. Yeah, Aquarius Records. Which is, I believe that's April Wine's label, their personal label, so pretty cool. Glad to have it. This has a lot of kind of earlier sounding. I would say there's definitely some like garagey elements to it. It's got a kind of a garage rock, kind of power pop kind of vibe to it. Weeping Widow, Just Like That, Electric Jewels, some of the tracks. Cat's Claw's really good. Actually, a lot of really strong songs on that album. Then up next, I've got Straight Shooter by the James Gang. And this is the one after Joe Walsh had left. And I believe they did a very good job of filling Joe Walsh's shoes on particularly this album, which is actually really good. It's got tracks like Madness, Kickback Man, Get Her Back Again, Looking for My Lady, Getting Old, I'll Tell You Why, Harry Hypochondriac, Let Me Come Home, and My Door's Open. And this, I've been after this for quite some time, so very happy to finally add that to the collection. One I've been after for a while, and now I got quite a few Quicksilver CDs. I think I got 4 of them, so we got Quicksilver Messenger Service with Happy Trails. And this has the Who Do You Love Suite, the full side 1 album, Who Do You Love. And then, what else is on here? Calvary, which was a kind of a famous live song they did. This is their 2nd album, of course. I have this on vinyl and their first album and the one of the later ones, the self-titled Quicksilver one. Alright, and then I got Shady Grove CD. This one's a little bit different from a lot of their other albums. This one's a little more, it's got that kind of folky, a little bit progressive in some areas on here. So definitely kind of interesting, kind of a different take on their sound, which I actually kind of dig, kind of unique. And then probably my favorite, other than the first album, would be this self-titled Quicksilver Messenger Service album, which all the songs on here are really strong, really well written. Most of them are written by Dino Valente, which kind of the visionary after the later period of Quicksilver, he was kind of the main guy pretty much writing everything. So I think this one kind of culminated in just a great album. Really has really really psychedelic influence, definitely, even as late as 1971 when this came out. So still has that psychedelic kind of San Francisco sound going on. And I really dig this album. All the songs are pretty strong. There's nothing that's like bad in my opinion. One that I definitely got into when I was quite younger, when I was a teenager. So one that means a lot to me. This album really means a lot to me. And then we got Just for Love, which is one of the later albums. This is the one, I want to say it's the one after this one. I think it's 72. So Fresh Air is on here, which was kind of their only real big hit. And this is actually I guess an unofficial released version of the CD. So yeah. So that's the end of the Quicksilver, and then we got this really cool find. We got some Black Sheep, which was Lou Graham's first band with Bruce Turgen on bass guitar. Of course, Bruce Turgen and Lou Graham would end up being in Shadow King much later. And this has that early 70s kind of free, very early Bad Company definitely feel to it a little bit. And also a little bit of early progressive elements. A lot of like longer 8-9 minute songs and stuff. So we got tracks like Paying Your Dues, really good song. Woman Back Home, also good. Let Me Stay, really good. Power to Hill is like probably the standout to me. I love Power to Hill. Really powerful vocal, really powerful words too. Really good song, in my opinion. Far Side of the Sun is really good. And then Freight Train and Woman. To round it out, I would say all of those are really solid tracks. And this also includes, I believe, 2 bonus cuts, Stick Around and Cruisin', which were released as, I believe, early singles. One, the A-side and B-side. And those have an even more free sound, so definitely hear that early Foreigner, pre-Foreigner sound, and into definitely that commercial AOR-y early sound of Foreigner. Definitely, you can hear that on here, the influence. You can definitely tell from here, between here and the later Spooky 2000s, you definitely from there to the first Foreigner album, there's not that much of a departure, in my opinion. I think it's pretty close. So definitely, you can see the line going down. So, anywho, we got Budgie, which is awesome, really awesome. This is their first album, of course. I already had Squawk for a while on CD, so I thought I'd go ahead and pick up a couple more. I got first Budgie, and this also has the single only Crash Course in Brain Surgery, I think. Is that what it was? Oh no, yeah, that's what it is, because it was only released as a single, I believe. So that's on here. That's an added track. It wasn't on the original album. Then I've got the third album, Never Turn Your Back on a Friend. This is a quite famous album. Bread Fan, of course. Really famous track from them. And definitely that early British proto kind of metal stuff going on a lot of their early stuff, for sure. And then last but not least, I got 2 more. I got a couple Roadmaster CDs that I grabbed. Sweet Music. And this has tracks like Doesn't Mean a Thing, I Must Be Dreaming, You Move Me, You Come See Me, Higher, Higher, Circle of Love is really good. Sweet Music, really good tracks on there. And then that was also the album that pretty much gave them the record deal. And then we got Roadmaster Hayworld, which was the follow-up, the first on Mercury. My Eyes Have Been Opened, really good song. I'm On My Way, pretty good. Us Coming Back, I really like Us Coming Back. Say You Want to Be With Me is good. And then Rainbow Waterfall into Looking for the Day, which is like a little interlude. So yeah, pretty solid follow-up, I would say. So yeah, I'm very glad to find all those, and hope you enjoyed what I showed today. And I'll try to have a new vinyl update coming up pretty soon. I've got 3 or 4 records now, and then if I get another 4 or 5, I'll definitely go ahead and record that and get that out there. So yeah, hope everybody's doing okay, and talk to you guys later. Bye.